Now, over the years of playing Warframe, I've noticed something pretty consistent. Gauss is probably one of the most recommended Warframes in the game, but they don't exactly explain how to play Gauss, what he is, and what you should expect from him. This video is essentially just expectations for Gauss. If you've got recommended Gauss recently, and you're thinking he's going to be a nice kind of relaxed frame where you can just press a couple buttons and that kind of maintains everything, you're kind of right and insanely wrong at the same time. His thing is incredibly active. It doesn't really sound like it, but when you're in a mission, it certainly does feel like it. Now, the main point of Gauss is to do pretty much two things. You need to keep Redline activated. This will allow you to supercharge your abilities. And to do that, you just have to cast a Mach Rush or the code version of Thermal Sunder quite a few times over and over again to supercharge his battery, pushing it past the limits, allowing you to increase your casting speed, reload speed, speed itself. Essentially, it's just all speed. And the moment you stop casting Mach Rush, it slowly starts depleting. But on top of keeping Redline activated, you're going to want to keep kinetic plating activated, so you can gain back energy when you take damage and have damage reduction and stagger resistance. After that, you can cast the cold version of Thermal Sunder. This will crowd control enemies. This will freeze them. This is incredibly important because after that, you can cast the heat version about 4, 5, 6 times and then cast the cold version again. With the increased casting speed and everything like that, when you finally cast the cold version yet again, it'll all boil down to just a massive blast damage proc that will deal millions of damage, killing all the enemies. Now, if you have Redline at 100%, when you cast cold and then heat that first time, it will armor strip the enemies. In practice, it would usually go something along the lines of you start a mission, you cast 4, and then 2, and then cast a Mach Rush. Mach Rush also knocks down enemies, allowing you to run freely, get your supercharge meter up. If you feel like you're taking too much damage, cast the cold version of Thermal Sunder, crowd control more enemies. And then as it's finally getting to 100%, you can go ahead, cast the heat version, armor stripping the enemies. Then you can cast heat about 8 more times, and then cold again, and then you'll do millions of damage. It's incredibly simple. The only problem is upkeeping your 4th ability, Redline. And on top of that, you're going to have to keep moving with Mach Rush. He's an incredibly simple frame. To do these millions of damage as well, you don't even need a specialized build. You can have a very, very basic build. Mine doesn't even have format in it. It's the most basic thing you could ever think of. It's focused solely on range, duration, and a little bit of efficiency for continuous casting. And then obviously Archon Vitality, not for the health, but for the status effects from abilities that deal heat damage will be applied twice. Essentially, that's what gives Thermal Sunder just a lot more damage. Now, that is his nuking point. If you want to be a nuker, then that is how you would go about it with Gauss. If you wanted to be a weapon platforming frame, which Gauss can certainly do, it would be almost the same thing. You want to keep Redline and kinetic plating activated so you can get energy back and have the stagger resistance and all that good stuff. And then you can get your Redline to 100% supercharging your stuff, because when Redline is at 100%, like I mentioned, you gain a lot of buffs, and then you'll be able to increase your firing rate, your casting speed, reload speed, everything else like that, making being a weapon platforming Warframe incredibly satisfying, being able to fire weapons, reload easily, and all this other stuff. So essentially, if you're wanting to play Gauss, play him if you want either fasting fire rate, reload speed, melee attacks, anything really, faster everything. And play him if you enjoy constant movement, because you're gonna be having it. But don't play Gauss if your ideal frame is casting an ability only every few minutes, chilling, relaxing, staying in a corner, and being like unkillable with minimal effort. His damage reduction is tied directly to his battery level and the strength of your build. So if you have like a negative strength build but no way to raise it back to 100%, then you're not gonna have a good way of surviving. If I had Arcane Ice Storm, then I would be completely fine. If I had Arcane Ice Storm at max rank, then I would be completely fine, but I only have an unranked one. This build would definitely be a lot better if I had a max Arcane Ice Storm though. But basically, if you want an unkillable frame with very, very minimal effort, Play Revenant, Inaros, Rhino, Neja. All of them will require minimal effort to survive Eternity, especially Inaros. He requires pretty much nothing, and same with Nidus as well. Gauss is surprisingly tanky, but unless you have a 100% strength build, he still requires some effort and upkeep, unlike those frames I listed, which require pretty much nothing. And so, with that being said, that is pretty much just about it. The expectations for Gauss are just to be fast, to use your weapons when needed, and to just be constantly doing something essentially. Unlike other frames that have downtime, Gauss doesn't really have that. So play Gauss if you want to feel faster, more active, more engaging, but don't play him if you're looking for a frame that does all the work for you. He's simply not the one. He isn't about avoiding gameplay. He makes gameplay far more exciting. And with that being said, that's just about it. Until next time.